Have you ever wondered how we freestylers manage to learn so many mechanics in such a short time? Or how we learn so many mechanics and perform them so easily, as if it were as natural as breathing? Have you ever wondered that? Well, I have the answer for you. So, let me introduce myself. My name is Leogaben, I'm a Rocket League freestyler, and I'm going to give you the 10 tips to become a freestyler. After years and years and years of playing this game, I'm going to give you the 10 best pieces of advice that anyone could give you, I believe. I mean, these are tips that I swear are top-notch, absolutely top-notch. So that's it. I hope you enjoy the video. I think this turned out to be a really useful video. Seriously, I swear this video is super useful, and well, that's it. I won't bother you any longer. I'll leave you with the video, so pay close attention. Grab a pen and paper. Let's roll the video. Alright guys, we're here in free training, and I'm going to start with point number 1. And the thing is, point number 1, the best tip I can give you, is actually the first one I'm going to give you, which is patience. Keep in mind that if you want to be freestylers or master the mechanics really well, you're going to have to dedicate hours and hours and hours to the game. A lot of hours. I'll give you an example. I've played about 8,000 hours, more or less, okay? I mean, maybe even a bit more, probably a bit more, because I also have some hours played on my Epic account. Well, roughly around 8,500 or so. And it's true that with those hours I've been in Pulse and all that, but it's still a lot of hours. 8,500 hours is in days. Let me calculate it in days, okay? That's 354 days. That's almost a whole year playing nonstop. I mean, just think about it. It's insane. I mean, it's just crazy. So, if you want to be freestylers, or you're starting to become one or whatever, keep in mind that you're going to have to dedicate hours and hours and hours to this game, okay? Now that I've said this, let's move on to another point. The next tip is to use logic. Look, I'm going to be completely honest with you. In my Rocket League life, in my life as a player, in my career as a freestyler, I've watched a total of 2 tutorials. I watched a tutorial 9 years ago on how to do air dribbling, and I watched a tutorial 5 years ago on how to do the breezy flick. That's it. I've never watched another tutorial in my life, and I know how to do practically all the mechanics in the game. But why? If I literally don't watch any tutorials or anything, because I use logic. Think about it. Rocket League is a game that works with physics. I mean, it's a logical game. There's nothing that's luck, there's nothing that's... Everything is about timings and specific movements with the car. That's why in Rocket League, I can't tell you to press X for 3 seconds and then turn right for 2 seconds, because you won't accomplish anything. I mean, if I do that, maybe I get something done, but if you do it, nothing happens. Why? Because in Rocket League, it depends on each situation. And why am I explaining this to you? Because remember, Rocket League is about logic. Rocket League is logic. For example, if I want to learn how to do the half flip instead of watching a tutorial, I think for a moment and say, okay, what really is the half flip? Well, the half flip is a back flip, right? Because at first glance, you see that it's a backflip, for example. So you do a backflip, and then you notice that at a certain point, it's cancelled. So you cancel it, and then you notice that at a certain point, you turn the car, you rotate it. It's that simple. You don't need anyone to explain it to you, you don't need it spoon-fed. In fact, if you look for the logic yourself, you'll understand it better. Another example, the MacTube reset. The MacTube reset is logical too. You position yourself sideways, and you say, okay, but what do I do here? Alright, I have to somehow position the car so that it goes in that direction. So I do a backflip. Why? Because the car is pointing that way. If I do a backflip, it'll go that way because my car is upside down. And then, of course, but how do I get the car back like this to catch the reset? Well, I use air roll to the side. I need to get the car upright. And that's it. That's how I've learned all the mechanics. And if you ask any freestyler, 95% will tell you they've learned this way, using logic. Because you don't need a tutorial to be a freestyler. You don't need someone to tell you how you have to do it. It's just logic, it's common sense, it's about observing and finding the way it's done, but finding it your own way, searching for it according to your way of seeing things. I understand that, for example, there are much harder mechanics, like the stall, for instance. That's true, I hadn't mentioned that. I also watched a stall tutorial. Why? Because the stall isn't something logical. You know what I mean, right? I mean, the stall. Why do you end up levitating? Why? Can someone explain it to me? Because I don't get it. This is a mechanic I don't understand. But anyway, that's it. The stall, a mechanic I don't understand. But in general, you don't need to watch a tutorial to know how to do a mechanic. If you think about it a little, you can figure it out, I swear. And well, this is where being active comes in, having a good attitude when it comes to learning in Rocket League, because don't treat Rocket League like it's just another video game or whatever. Keep in mind that Rocket League is a game so different from any other that you have to look at it differently. I mean, you have to look at it differently. Whether you like it or not, okay? You can call me crazy, but Rocket League is not a normal game. And you might say, yeah, you only say that because you're good at this game and you want to feel special. No, I'm being completely serious. Rocket League is a game that works like real life. I mean, no, it's not like FIFA, for example, where you press a button and make a pass. Rocket League is logical. Rocket League is practical. I don't know how to explain it. Literally, the car does what you do. I mean, no, the game doesn't depend on anything else. The game depends on what you do with your fingers. And what's the only thing you can change about the game? Is how you move your car, how you control the ball, how you do everything. But there's nothing that can, I mean, it's all skill. Do you understand what I'm saying, right? I mean, it's all pure skill. There's nothing that's luck. It's true that obviously there are more fortunate and less fortunate situations. There are some really weird bounces because obviously it's a video game and it's not perfect, but you shouldn't look at it as just another video game. You should see it as if it were something more in the real world. I mean, you get what I mean, right? And that's exactly why Rocket League is so difficult, because you need a ton of hours to really control this car well. This car I have here, do you know how hard it is to control this car? It's like an extension of your body. It's really hard to control it. It's like if you're just chilling one day and suddenly you get a third arm, what do? You're screwed. I mean, you have to learn to control it. You have to learn to, right? They give you an extension of your body and you have to dedicate a lot of time to it, you know? The only thing is, obviously, with an extension of your body, you're going to master it much sooner. You're not going to take 10 years to learn how to control it, because in a year, you'll already have it under control, since you always have it with you. But just so you understand the comparison a bit, Rocket League isn't. It's not normal. It's a game that doesn't work like the others. I mean, Rocket League is an incomparable game, for example. I mean, you can't compare it to any other game. If you're good at Rocket League, you're good at Rocket League, period. On the other hand, in other games, like, I don't know, CSGO or Valorant, if you're good at CSGO, and since it's a shooter, you'll also be good at Valorant, or at least fairly good. Obviously, there are things that change, and the mechanics aren't the same, but the gameplay itself is very similar. So it's very likely that you have a lot of skills you can transfer, right? But when you're good at Rocket League, you're only good at Rocket League. So, Rocket League is a logical game, so use logic to learn how to do the mechanics. And if you want to be freestylers, I swear you're going to have to use logic. You won't always have tutorials for everything easily available to you. And you won't always like the way people explain things. So use logic, guys. You have to think a little, get your act together, and have a positive attitude. I mean, no, we can't just be lazy and say, well, whatever, I don't know. No, seriously, if you want to be a freestyler or you want to learn mechanics really well, use your own logic. Don't watch tutorials, it's not necessary, I'm telling you honestly. And this ties in with the next tip, which is to observe a lot. Just as I tell you not to watch tutorials, I do tell you to watch clips, plays, and moves from other players. Why? Because obviously, every player does their own research on each mechanic or on how they're going to play. Maybe, by watching how another player plays, you might think, wow, maybe I can also apply this to my gameplay. Or maybe I can try doing this in this way, but apply it like this. So a great piece of advice I can give you is that observe a lot, observe. Watch clips, I don't know, observe other players. This is like someone who plays soccer and watches footballers who are better than him. You are a footballer and you want to learn a certain aspect. And, you know, there's a player who does that really well. So what are you going to do? You're going to watch that player, you're going to see how he does it. Well, it's the same in Rocket League. If you want to learn how to do a certain mechanic, watch someone who knows how to do it. And instead of asking them, hey, how do you do it? Try to figure out how it's done, because I swear you can figure it out. Watch it in slow motion or whatever you want, but seriously, observe a lot. I'm serious, watch other players a lot and everything. I mean, it's really useful. And then I also connect this to the next tip, which is to watch your own clips. In freestyle, it's not only important to watch other freestylers and other players, but it's also very important to watch yourself, to watch your own clips, to see how you do things. Why? Because when you're playing, a lot of times you do things without even thinking about them. For example, when I do a flip reset, I don't even think about how I have to position the car anymore, I just do it. So what happens then? When you reach that point, there are a lot of things you do out of muscle memory, and watching your own clips will help you realize what you're actually doing. And when you realize what you're doing, you can change it, because obviously if there's something, let's say there's something about your gameplay that you don't like, or you think there are some moves in your gameplay that aren't exactly smooth, or they're not like the ones you see. So the first thing you have to do is identify the problem. It's like everything in life, you have to identify what's not working. And to identify what's not working, you have to watch how you do it, because if you don't, you can't. I mean, no, you can't just do a recap in your head. You have to clip it and watch it yourself. So when you do that, you'll notice the mistakes you've made, what went well, what didn't. And if you observe, you'll be able to see what you don't like or what you're getting wrong, and you'll be able to improve it because you've identified the problem. So improving it is just a matter of practice and putting in the hours. And this ties in with the next tip, which is to record your inputs. What does this mean? Recording your inputs is, of course, you can only really do this if you're on PC, because honestly on PlayStation it would be a bit weird to do that. I mean, on PlayStation, you could literally record your controller, but it wouldn't be very clear. But on PC, I highly recommend that you do it, especially when you're just starting out. It's very important that when you're learning mechanics or just starting out, you record yourself, your controller with some program like OBS, for example. Or there's a Backesmod plugin called, I don't have it installed, do I? Well, there's a Backesmod plugin called Controller Overlay. With that plugin, you'll have your controller displayed somewhere on the screen, okay? You can move it, you can put it wherever you want. You'll have the controller somewhere on the screen, and you'll be able to see what you did when you record a clip. Like, you're doing something, you're learning a mechanic, you see that it kind of worked out, so you clip it and watch the clip to see what you did with the controller. There are also plugins to do this with the keyboard and everything, you know? So whether you use a keyboard or a controller, you'll be able to do it with both. So this will help you to literally see better what you've done. Because it's true that you can see the car and how it moves, but you'll never know exactly how you pressed the buttons. But if you record the inputs, if you record exactly what you press, then you really will be able to see it, and it will be much easier to solve problems. Alright, now let's move on to a tip that's a bit more practical, and it's something that absolutely all, and I mean all, freestylers do, which is cancelling every single flip. Every single flip, seriously. I swear to you, I never do a flip without cancelling it. For those who don't know how to cancel a flip, it's very simple. For example, let's say you want to do a front flip, but you want to cancel it. So, what do? You do the front flip, which would be by pushing the joystick forward, as you can see down here, right here below, on the controller. That would be pushing the joystick forward and doing the double jump. Alright. So when you do a cancel, front flip, you do the front flip, but as soon as you do the second jump and the car is already moving the way you told it to, you cancel and move the joystick in the opposite direction of the jump you just did. For example, a cancel backflip, you do the same thing. You pull back, do the double jump backwards, but the moment you do the double jump, you push the joystick forward. Why? Well, because since you pushed it down, you push it up to cancel it. Do you want to do a... It's always the same. I mean, a front flip cancelled like this, well, you cancel it, you know? You do a, like, if you push the joystick forward, you move it back, you know? So always, 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 you have to cancel all the flips. Why do you do this? You do this because you have greater control over the car. Because there's something, of course, here there's something called the cancel of the cancel. I mean, you can cancel the flip and then uncancel it. Look, a normal cancel would be this. Well, I can do it like this. See how I cancel it and then uncancel it? So, what does this allow me to do? This allows me greater control over the car. So when I'm in the air and I have to do something, it's much better for me to be able to cancel and uncancel. Because that way I have more opportunities to do many more things. So you always, always, always have to cancel every flip. Because if you don't cancel it, the moment you haven't cancelled it, you've lost control of the car, or it's going to be very difficult for you to have control over the car. Obviously, there are times when you'll be able to do flips without cancelling because you have it completely under control, but most of the time, 99% of the time, you'll have to cancel the flip in order to have good control over the car. So it's important. Cancel every flick, all of them. I mean, all the flips, sorry, not flicks, flicks or something else. The flips, okay? With a P. The jumps. You have to cancel all the jumps. Alright, now let's move on to the 7th tip, which is cam work. The cam work, okay? I mean, the camera work, basically. And this is something very important in freestyler jargon, so to speak, and it's the fact that when you're about to score a goal, how you use the camera is very important. For example, if you're going to do a sidewall, and if you notice, I turn the camera off and on, at the moment I'm about to hit the ball, I turn the camera off. I mean, or when you do a psycho, for example, when I do a psycho, if you look at all my psychos, I always turn off the camera whenever I'm more or less alert. Why do we do this? It's because it looks better, since in the end, freestyle is about scoring the most beautiful goal possible. So, if you turn off the camera at a specific moment, for example, when you're about to do a sidewall, the touch you give looks much nicer, right? Because you make the touch, and then you see how the ball goes toward the goal. So, I don't really know how to explain it, but it's like, it just looks so much better, and it shows that you're good. I mean, these are details that people really appreciate when it comes to... In the world of freestyle, the fact that you have good cam work, that you know how to take the camera off and put it back on the ball well, is highly valued. I remember that when I was starting out, I was really bad at this, I was terrible at it, but over time you get used to it, and now I don't do it consciously anymore. I do it out of muscle memory. When I'm about to hit the ball, I just do this, I mean, I'm like this, and I just go boom, boom, you know? Well, I'm like this, and I go boom, boom, you know? I always do it. I always do it. I don't know why, but I do it, okay? So that's what you have to do. Take the camera off and put it back on. Especially, I'll give you a tip, at the moment when you're about to scrape the ball at some point. There, for example, did you see that I took the ball off and put it back on? Well, right there. I mean, I took the camera off the ball and put it back on. So that's where you have to take the camera off. You have to do it so that it becomes muscle memory, because I'm telling you, it might seem silly, but it's something that teams and the freestyle world really value a lot. Okay, now I'm going with the 8th tip, which is not to go for specific shots. That is, when you want to record a freestyle clip, don't go for a specific shot, don't go for a double reset, double musty, double tap. Don't go for that. What you need to do is actually freestyle, literally. You have to go to the wall, try whatever comes out, try whatever is best at that moment. If a Gerbi reset works well, then a Gerbi reset. If a musty works well here, then a musty. If a waiter reset works well here, then a waiter reset. You have to improvise, because that's what freestyle is. Freestyle is freestyle. Freestyle is improvising, but making it look like it was planned. That's why so much practice is needed, because you have to have your mind ready to know what's best at every moment. And what a good freestyler knows how to do is, okay, in this situation, what do I do? This or do I do this? Okay, I'll do this because it's the better option, because it'll leave the ball in a better position for me because of this or that. In the end, being a freestyler is about finding the best way to take a shot, but making it look like you had thought of it beforehand, even though you actually hadn't. Why? Let me explain. Besides the fact that, personally, I find it very boring to go after a specific shot. Let's say that if you try a shot enough times, eventually you'll get it. I mean, whether you want to or not, you'll end up getting it, because you've tried it thousands of times. So what makes a clip valuable is doing things that normally wouldn't happen. Otherwise, why do you think clips that have bounces or lucky moments are so valuable? Because they're things that don't usually happen. So that's where the freestyler instinct comes in, knowing how to find what's best. For example, I'm in a match and my opponent bumps into me, right? He bumps into me and I go flying with the ball like this. What do I do here? Do I do this? Do I do it like this? Do I do something else? So that's something that's highly valued, because that's a situation that won't happen many times. On the other hand, a situation where you're carrying the ball along here and doing this, that's going to happen many times as you want, because it's simply carrying the ball along the wall. So do freestyle, don't do premeditated shots, do freestyle, feel free to do whatever you want. No, don't look for specific shots. You have to flow with the car. You have to flow with the game. You have to, you know what I mean, right? You have to flow. You have to go with whatever comes up. And this ties in with the next point, which is the 9th point, which is to play matches. Don't spend all day in free training, I'm begging you, because freestyle teams are never going to want a free training clip. Always, 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 when you're going to join a freestyle team, they're going to ask you for clips from matches. If you send clips from training, they're not even going to pay attention to you. So, what is it that you need to do? What you need to do is come here, go to casual, 1 versus 1, and look for a match, okay? And then you start doing freestyle here. Don't go into training, because when it comes to sending a clip, a team isn't going to want a clip of you in free training, they're going to want it from a match. Obviously, this is if you want to join a team, if you just want to know how to freestyle just because, or you want to learn mechanics just because you don't need to go into casual. But if you want to be a freestyler like I am, for example, I've been in Pulse and all that. How do you think I got into Pulse? I didn't get into Pulse with training clips. I got into Pulse with in-game clips, you know, with 100 boost, limited boost, and that's it, just doing my thing there. So I recommend that you practice a lot in matches as well, because, well, that's just how it is. You have to play in matches, because that's how you learn to manage your boost better and many other things. And now, for the last tip of all, which I can say is the most important one, practice a lot, but I mean practice a lot, like really a lot, okay? You have to practice a ton. Obviously, there are people who find it easier to learn mechanics, but normally, even if you're someone who picks up mechanics quickly, you're still going to have to play a lot. So that's it, practice. You're going to have to practice, you're going to have to put in hours and hours and hours trying something that you might not even get right that day. Because something you need to understand is that, for example, when I set out to learn a new mechanic, it takes me several days or even weeks before I perfect it. So guys, be patient and practice. Don't give up. No, don't think that just because it didn't work out for you one day, that means you're bad and won't achieve anything. No, in fact, we all have bad days. Everyone has bad days in Rocket League. Because, well, sometimes your mind just isn't there, or your hands just aren't cooperating. That's when you have to play with the right mindset and say, listen, calm down. It's okay. I'm just having a bad day. No need to worry. But you have to practice. You have to put in the hours instead of going around asking, hey, how do I get better? Play, man, play. I'm telling you for real, practice. Seriously, please. I mean, practice, man. Put in the hours. Practice, 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 practice. I swear to you, it's the best thing you can do. It's the best. If you want, put on a video in the background, put on some music, whatever, but practice. Get your mind used to this game. Get your mind used to those movements. Get your mind used to the car. Get your mind used to pressing X buttons to do X thing. Get used to it. You have to develop muscle memory. And how do you develop muscle memory? There's no other solution than just doing it. And you'll realize that when you do mechanics, many times your muscle memory will make you do a different movement because you're used to doing something else. And that's when your mind has to step in and say, okay, when I do this, I do this. And how are you going to develop that so it comes out well? With muscle memory. And how do you achieve that? With practice, by putting in the hours. Trial and error all the time. Trial and error all the time. So please, the best advice I can give you is practice, practice a lot, practice a ton, guys, practice as much as you can. And that's it for today's video. I hope it was helpful for you. Honestly, I think this video is very useful, really very useful. Not just if you want to be a freestyler, simply if you want to learn how to do mechanics, it's a very useful video, so I hope it helped you. I think I explained myself pretty well. Even so, if you have any questions about anything I said, you can leave them in the comments and I'll be reading them. And that's all I have to say. Subscribe to the channel if you liked the video, leave a comment, a like, or whatever you want. And above all, follow me on Instagram, because I always announce everything I do there, and I really go all out there. So that's it. See you in the next video. And well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. If you liked it, and if you didn't, well, I'm really sorry, man. I don't know. I'll try to do better in the next videos. See you in the next video. Thank you so much for the support. You're all amazing. Bye.